Hello, good afternoon. My name is Rudy Medina Begon, and I'm going to be your teacher for these few seconds, for these few minutes, in order to talk about one important aspect of English. I'm referring to the present perfect tense. What do we understand by the present perfect tense? It is a tense in where we use an auxiliary verb. This auxiliary verb is the verb have. We are going to use have for the personal pronouns I, you, we, and they. And we are going to use has for the personal pronouns she, he, and it. After that, we are going to use the past participle of the verbs. And finally, we are going to use the complements. We have in these examples, we have, for example, I have seen their photos. She has lived abroad. As I repeat again, we are going to use have with these personal pronouns, I, you, they, we, in other words, the plural nouns. And we are going to use has for she, he, it as the singular pronouns. And obviously we have to understand, we have to know that we are going to use the contractions for all of these personal pronouns. I've, we've, they've, she's, his, and its. We use this present perfect for actions or situations that happened at an unspecified time in the past tense. Example, I have been to Canada. My parents have returned from there. I haven't seen the Houses of Parliaments. She has not been to Brazil. These four examples show us that these actions happened in an specified time in the past. We don't know the simple past. We don't know the time expression in the simple past. We know only the general information. Sometimes we are going to use expressions that are referred to the present perfect. And these expressions are already, just, and yet. Examples, I have already seen their photos. My parents have just returned from Canada. My family hasn't had time for a trip yet. We are using, in this last case, the negative form of the present perfect. Already, just, and yet. Those are the adverbs of frequency. We are going to study one by one. Already means before now. It may come before the past participle or at the end of the question. Example, have you already been to the British Museum? We have the expression already at the beginning. Next example, have you been to the British Museum already? So this word already goes in the final part of the sentence, as you can see. The second one is yet. The expression yet. It means up to now. It is usually placed at the end of the question. Example, have you visited the British Museum yet? In this case, opposite to the previous one, it is not possible for us to use this expression yet at the beginning of the sentence. So, it is not possible for me to say, yet have you visited the British Museum? It is not possible. In affirmative sentences, we are going to use the expression just, only in affirmative sentences. So, just refers to the very recent past. It comes before the past participle. In the middle of the auxiliary sentence, the auxiliary word, and the principal verb. Example, I have just visited that museum. Already and recently are usually coming before the past participle or sometimes at the end of the sentence. Example, I have already visited that museum in the beginning. I have visited that museum already at the final position. Recently, I have recently visited that museum at the beginning of the sentence. I have visited that museum recently, which goes in the last part of the sentence. In the negative sentence, we are going to use the expression yet. So we usually use this word at the end of a negative sentence. Example, I haven't visited that museum yet. Remember, just, yet, already, ever, and never are also used in the present perfect tense. Example, just often emphasizes the idea of close to the present. Example, I have just spoken to Jane. She's not going to join for a supper tonight. Already, it is in affirmative sentences and in interrogative sentences. Example already suggests that something has happened sooner than expected, and again is linked with the present time and therefore the present perfect. Do you want me to make a salad for your supper tonight? I have already made it. It's on the table, so it is ready. Another example we are going to talk about yet. And the expression yet, remember, we use it in negative and interrogative forms. Example, I don't think you have met Rachel yet. Have you? No, I haven't. I have met a lot of your friends from work, but I have not met Rachel yet. She's absolutely lovely. I'm sure you will like her.